What's up, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, and the overall markets. Just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $2,000, you're guaranteed 30 in total. And the offer ends very soon at the end of March. So, as far as this market is going, we're very choppy right now, very boring. There's not really a whole lot else that's going on. But just know that this is what they're likely doing to hurt the options, the ones that are expiring today. They're keeping the market very choppy, very sideways. We don't really have a direction yet in terms of the larger trend. We're just waiting to see which way we end up breaking. So just keep that in mind. I also want to remind you guys that for Monday, the stock market's going to be closed on Monday for President's Day. So that means that we're going to have a 3-day holiday. And if you're holding anything overnight, if you hold any positions, you have to hold until Tuesday because the market's going to be closed for 3 days. With that being said, what do I see from this point on? It's all the same, guys. There's not really much of an update yet because we have to see which way SPY breaks. It's very simple. So if we end up breaking past our resistance at this 610 area, if we close above that in the 610s completely, if we see 611 plus, this is easily going to be pushing to about 615 very soon. That's going to be my next target. I think we have a lot of upside potential for that. But if we get a rejection and we see SPY end up losing 608 and we close below that, there's going to be a risk of us returning to 605. So we'll see about that. Getting a little bit of a dip is completely healthy, but that does still open the doors for more upside going into next week, as long as we end up holding our key support. So even if we dip all the way down to the 608, it's going to be fine. It could still bounce next week and try to break to new all-time highs. But my main reasoning is the fact that I would like to see it hold support at 608. If it loses that, it's going to be dipping back down, and we'll be looking to see if we get a rejection. So we're just waiting to see, so give it some time. I also want to call out that because of the options chain, SPY is very choppy. So when you zoom in like this, you guys can see we're just going back and forth between these levels, not really doing a whole lot. Same thing with the QQQ, it's just very, very sideways. We do have a slight head and shoulders in the 5-minute that could lead to a bit more downside. But overall, when you zoom out and go to the 4-hour on the QQQ, we're technically still bullish. When you zoom out like this, if you look at the charts, you guys can see this is still, it's still on a very, very nice uptrend. It's still doing a good job at holding up. So I'm not really too worried about this. If we were to lose 533, then yes, we could be dipping to 530. And excuse me, as long as we're above 535, we're looking for an attempt to get to about 540. So we'll see how this ends up going. For the Russell 2000, we're looking in the middle as well. Very choppy, kind of boring. We're starting to reject off our 200 EMA, so this could be dipping closer to about this imbalance down here around 224. The 224 has become very possible if this rejects. To be bullish, we want to break and hold above 226.5. As of right now, we're just going to have to wait. For ES, we have a nice inverse head and shoulders like pattern. As of right now, we're holding above 6122 and 6100 flats. As long as we're above that, we could try to bounce later on for a nice push to all-time highs. If not, if we end up losing 6100, we will turn back down. Otherwise, it's just very choppy right now. It's still bullish looking when you look at the trend. For NQ, it's stronger than SPY. We have a nice inverse head and shoulders on it. As long as you don't lose 22,000, we favor upside. And we could be looking for 22,250 very soon. I think it's doing a great job at holding up, so give this some time to develop. For Bitcoin, Bitcoin's looking bullish on the 4-hour time frame. As long as we're above 97,000, we're favoring a push back up to 98,800. So I think we're doing a good job. The 98,000 is going to be coming very soon. For NVIDIA, we're on a very, very nice uptrend so far. As long as we don't see this thing lose 133, I think that this is going to slowly try to fill this gap up to about 142. Now, for now, it's going to be kind of choppy, very sideways, but I think slowly going into next week, we're looking for that gap fill. I definitely see potential in this. Unfortunately, Tesla is showing some weakness. We got a rejection right here. I mean, you could argue there's a possible slanted inverse head and shoulders, but it's not looking as great. So as far as Tesla goes, we need to see it reclaim 363. If we get back above that, I think it could bounce. But if we can't do that, we're going to be at risk of dipping again. So what I would say is that we're going to be watching this trend just to see how this ends up continuing, especially as we have these key trend lines. So I would argue that you could take our fib level like this, and then if we do end up dipping back down to these supports, especially the lower like 340s, we'll see if Tesla bounces or not. Overall, unfortunately for Tesla, we're not technically reversing yet. We're technically still on a downtrend. When you really zoom out, it's technically making lower highs and lower lows. We need to reclaim at least 362 for there to be some hope for the bulls. If not, this may continue to dip lower into the low 340s. So be careful, guys. There is some weakness on Tesla stock. Also, when you zoom out of Tesla and go to like our daily chart, for example, the same thing is going on. We're making lower highs here, rejecting over and over again. And we have this gap over here around 336. There's also another gap way down here. So you want to be careful with these gaps that Tesla still is not filled. So I'm a little concerned about this, right? If we end up losing these lows, this could be dipping more. So we'll see how this ends up going, especially as this gap is still existent. It needs to reclaim 362. Otherwise, this will be dipping even lower. For others out there, we have um, Apple, which is looking bullish. When you zoom out and go to like the 4 hour time frame, nice inverse head and shoulders like pattern. I think that this is also like a triple bottom accumulation, so we could be looking for a continuation to 246 very soon. Apple looks bullish so long as we don't lose 240. We favor upside. For others out there, such as Coinbase, we are looking so. We got this rejection after earnings have come out. It's starting to dip right now. So this might be dipping back down to about the low 270s. I could be looking for the supports to be retested. Amazon's looking a little bit lackluster, might be retesting at 227.5. But overall, it's very choppy, not really doing much. A small dip is coming. Meta is very resilient. I said as long as we're above this green trend line, not trend line, sorry, the green 20 EMA, we remain bullish. So this is favoring. It might get very close to 740. Now it's just continuing to uptrend. No sign of a rejection yet. On Microsoft, we're on a bit of a downtrend. We're going to be watching to see how it reacts to about 406. Then Google could be retesting the support right here at 185. So watch your levels very closely, guys. I thank you all so much for listening. The VIX is in the middle. It's not really making much of a move because the market's very choppy. We're not seeing much volatility. So for now, I think that they're going to try to hurt those short-dated options. So if you're holding them, please be very careful. SPY could dip a little bit more, but overall, as long as we don't lose 608, there's still hope for a bounce next week. And if we do lose 608, we could turn back down. We have not broken resistance. We have not lost critical support. We're stuck in the middle. So I would recommend just giving this some time to develop, and we'll see how things end up going. With that being said, I thank you all so much for listening. Please have a fantastic rest of your day. And one final reminder, there will not be trading on Monday. So if you're day trading, if you're holding any short-term options or positions, remember to be very careful with them, because if you don't want to hold through the weekend, then you have to take on that risk or try to reduce it. And if you're willing to hold through this, if you're trying to swing, then I wouldn't worry too much. Keep all of that in mind. A lot could happen over the weekend, especially with politics and stuff getting involved. So we'll see how it goes. Excuse me. Anyways, have a good rest of your day, guys. Have a very happy Valentine's Day. I understand not everyone has a Valentine, but it's still a great time to be alive, a great time to look at opportunities. And I'm very happy no matter what. I'm going to keep my head held up high. For those out there who may or may not have Valentines, it's going to be totally okay. Anyways, thank you for listening. Have a good day. I'll see you guys very soon, hopefully with one more update, and peace out.